Dillian, the body snatcher right here. It's a champ. Big up to Sporting Icon. Subscribe. Otherwise, I might pay you guys a visit.
Right, so I was watching the Fabio Wardley fight against Dennis Lewandowski last night. I was watching it live with a lot of you guys here on YouTube. Okay, so Sky Sports, the official YouTube channel, was streaming this fight, and I watched this fight live with some of you guys. And I know what the talking points are, and of course, for me, I'm watching to see how Fabio Wardley is going to be performing. I wasn't too concerned about who the opponent was or anything like that. I'd heard of Lewandowski before, and I knew that his record was 13 wins and 3 defeats, never been stopped. Okay, so this was a decent test. Fabio Wardley, until last night, only had 6 professional fights. He's managed by Dillian Whyte, and obviously going to be promoted by Matchroom, Sky Sports, Eddie Hearn. So I was more interested to see how it was that he was going to get on, because I spoke with Fabio on this channel, a few weeks ago. A lot of you guys would have seen it. If you haven't seen it, it'd be in my playlist, Chats with Pro Boxers. So go give that a watch. And real nice guy, very ambitious and believes in himself, but very realistic with things as to where he is right now and the progression that he needs to do. Of course, he's got the guidance of Dillian Whyte managing him, all that kind of thing as well. So very humble, nice guy. So I wanted to see how it was that he was going to perform. Didn't really care about the opponent too much. But of course, watching this fight and seeing the opponent, you can't help but go, damn, you are hench. Dennis Lewandowski is only 1 year older than Fabio Wardley. He's 25 years old. And on the scales, was he 351 pounds at 6'2". So just to put it into context for this one, as I said, I'd like to talk about the fight, maybe the fact that the fight was stalled for about 10-15 minutes after these guys got in the ring, because the referee wasn't happy with the gloves that Lewandowski was wearing, because the attachment between the thumb and the glove itself was non-existent. The referee wanted to make sure that he was wearing the correct gloves, so no thumbs in the eye, or at least reduce the chance of thumbs in the eye. And how the fight went, the fact that Fabio Wardley stopped him in 3 rounds, became the first person to stop him. Not only stop him, he bloodied up his face, dropped into the canvas. Lewandowski gets up, Fabio Wardley goes in for the kill, drops him again, referee calls it off. And Fabio Wardley was playing with him for the first 2 rounds, and I knew that watching it. Because a lot of people are saying that Fabio Wardley, he should have just went through him. This is on the live chat. Why is he not finishing him off? Because he was playing with him, is what he's doing. I knew exactly what it was that he was doing. But Fabio did a great performance, but this isn't what you guys want to talk about. You guys want to talk about the weight. So just to put into context, first of all, he's a professional athlete. If you can put the two together, he legitimately is. He's 351 pounds. This is a career heaviest. Now, I know some people say, well, why is it Eddie Hearn and everyone allowed him into the ring? How can the British Boxing Board of Control allow him into the ring? This is what a lot of you guys were saying on the live stream yesterday. And it's a kind of a fair point in some ways, but if you look at it the other way, Deontay Wilder, he took on Dustin Nichols in his 10th fight. This was Fabio Wardley's 7th fight. So Wilder, when he fought Dustin Nichols in his 10th fight, Dustin Nichols was 398 pounds. So he was, almost 50 pounds more than Lewandowski at that point. And as a side note, yes, he actually dropped Deontay Wilder in that fight. The referee didn't count it as a drop. It did, because his glove hit the floor. But either way, Wilder won. But Dustin Nichols outweighed Lewandowski by 50 pounds. A lot of people calling him Butterbean. Butterbean, 425 pounds was his average. So he outweighed Lewandowski by 75 pounds. That shows you how big Butterbean is. And it's not always about how your body is or anything like that. It's about, can you fight? Can you take a shot? Can you give a shot? That's what it's about. But he is legitimately an athlete, right? And again, to put into some kind of context, he's 6'2". I am 6'2". I weigh 90 kilos, or I did about a week or so ago, which is there or thereabouts of 200 pounds. So he outweighs me by 150 pounds, and we are at the exact same height. He's almost double my weight. I'm not an athlete, but yet he's considered an athlete. It didn't quite work out. But as a 25-year-old, you should be out there chasing girls and doing what you can to like look after yourself. But for those who are blaming, say, Eddie Hearn or the British Boxing Board of Control or this, that and the other, I can understand why people would say that. But if you just look at the weights that Lewandowski was fighting at before, 268 pounds. In fact, 3 fights ago, he weighed 280 pounds. So you're talking a 70-pound difference. So whatever he's been doing over there in Germany, eating those bratwurst and all the other kind of things, he's been binge eating. He must have been, because he has never, ever been that big. You look at pictures of Lewandowski beforehand, he was never that big. And unless Eddie Hearn or whoever made the match has been following Lewandowski's career, I don't know why they would have done, but if they have been, then they would have seen that he was never this big. So you can understand why they made the fight. And yes, I'm sure it would have been a pretty big shock when he stood there on the scales. Now, for anybody who walks around at that kind of weight anyway, listen, that's your life. But the fact is, he is a professional athlete. And he should be embarrassed for a 25-year-old. He should be embarrassed. So yeah, he was definitely hench. But he's certainly not one of the biggest people that people or guys that have been in the ring. Not at all. As I said, Butterbean was there, Dustin Nichols, and plenty of others are as well. And it's not down to body beautiful. It's about, as I said before, can you fight? He was a decent test. 13 wins, 3 defeats, and one of those defeats, he went the distance with Tom Schwartz. Tom Schwartz is fighting Tyson Fury next. So this was a decent, legitimate challenge for Fabio Wardley. Just that nobody expected, not Fabio, not Dillian, not Eddie, not Matchroom, not Sky, not anybody expected him to walk on the scales at that size. The day before the fight, what do you want him to do? Call it off? Of course not. So either way, yes, he didn't look aesthetically very good. Didn't throw too many punches. He did throw some pretty dangerous ones that Fabio Wardley did get hit pretty flush. But that's because he just switched off. He didn't take it serious. And he just mowed into him, round number 3, bloodied him up, dropped him twice, referee called it off. Excellent performance by Fabio. What more could you ask for at, as I said, this is only his 7th professional fight. But I know that people don't really want to hear about the fight itself. People just want to talk about the size of him. Yeah, for a 25-year-old, yeah, you should do something about that. I mean, especially as only 1 year ago, he weighed 280 pounds. He put on 70 pounds in over a year. That's binge eating. That's eating Christmas puddings. That's eating the entire turkey. And him and his team, his management, his trainer, does he have a trainer? Is he training? You know, they need to have a word with him and say, listen, for your own health, sort it out, man. This is no good. Because people are not talking about your ability. They're talking about how big you are. And being big doesn't win fights. It just doesn't. And Fabio played with him and done brilliantly, in my opinion. So now he's got 7 wins on his record, still undefeated. 24 years old. So big up to Fabio Wardley on that one. And I may actually try and get him back on the channel maybe next week or the week after. I'll see what his schedule's like. But yeah, I mean, for me, congratulations to Fabio Wardley. Dustin Nichols, sort yourself out, man. Okay. But listen, as I said, there's been bigger around. And for all those people, the Eddie Hearn haters out there who were saying, see, this is what Eddie Hearn does with his guys. He puts them in with these kind of guys. Well, as I said, Deontay Wilder, who had only his 10th professional fight, fought Dustin Nichols, who outweighed Lewandowski by 50 pounds. You know, go figure. And he dropped Deontay Wilder. Fabio Wardley was never in any kind of danger in that fight. But either way, listen, that's my thoughts. Of course, everybody has their own on this one. Some people will be absolutely disgusted with the fact that Lewandowski come in the ring. And listen, you've got a point. Okay, but as I said, Eddie Hearn and Fabio and Dillian Whyte wouldn't have known about this because they would have seen his record saying what he weighs 268 pounds, he weighs 280 pounds. They wouldn't have expected him to walk onto that scale at 251 pounds. So anyway, that's my thoughts on it all. You drop yours, of course. Click the thumbs up to this video and, of course, subscribe. And I'll catch you all on the next one.